Hello everybody, and welcome to the Everyday Average Man Sports Show. I'm Joe LeBlanc, Average Joe, here with
Josh Urag, just Josh.
Just Josh, guys. We're going to go ahead and kick right into it. This is going to be, just for your future reference, it's going to be an everyday, not every day, it's an Everyday Average Man Sports Show, but it's going to be done weekly, so hopefully you can follow us, guys.
For the Everyday Man. First question, let's get it started with, what do you think of the decision 2.0, LeBron James picking the Cavs?
It's huge. It's absolutely huge. It's huge for basketball. It's the biggest story since Brett Favre retired and re-retired and retired and re-retired and did all that with the Jets and the Vikings. And probably the biggest story in basketball since Jordan retired, played basketball, came back and won a championship. This is huge. It's huge for basketball. It's huge for the Eastern Conference because now it's wide open. It's huge for the city of Cleveland because now they got their hometown hero back, and he's there. He seems like he's going to be there for the longevity of it until he accomplishes that championship and brings one home since 1964 back to Cleveland.
Yeah, I can see, LeBron winning a championship there, maybe multiples. But, this is like the ultimate glory to win in Cleveland.
But it ain't going to happen this year, and that's what we're talking about, guys.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about. Does this make them the favorite? Because in my eyes, no. It may make them the beast of the East. And we can talk about the contenders. But there's two factors. There's two factors in this. And like I said in the decision 2.0, and that's the fact that the Spurs embarrassed them. That's one of them. His contract's over. He did the 4 years. He didn't quit. He fulfilled his obligation. And the other point to the 2.0, the other factor, is the fact that I believe that he was kind of scared of what the Cavs were building. You got Andrew Wiggins, who could be possibly the best player on Cleveland in the next 5 years. LeBron James himself may not be the best player. You got Anthony Bennett, shed 20, 30 pounds. He was the #1 pick last year, shedding weight for the Summer League. They're looking pretty damn good, man. And I think LeBron was a little fearful that they might make some noise or stir the pot without him.
The future's bright in Cleveland, that's for sure. And, I got them winning probably the East this year, but they're definitely not the best team in the league.
And the other contenders, let's list them. And like I said, segue going into the next topic. It's Chicago. I mean, they had Paul Gasol. What do you think about that?
Paul Gasol is a big pickup. He's a big name in this league, but does he fit in this system? You don't think so?
No, I don't think so. I mean, me and Josh had a little bit of discussion to talk about this previously. But I mean, Paul Gasol he's a stretch four player. He can knock down that outside shot and whatnot. He's not a big body. He's not a rough and tough guy to be down there in the low post in the paint. He doesn't really fit in their defense prerogative. I mean, he's not a fast-paced, fast-tempo type of guy. He's a half-court offense, half-continuity type of offense player who couldn't even fit D'Antoni's offense. Yeah. So, I mean, you got to really question about the twilight of Gasol's career. Is he really going to do what Chicago needs him to do?
Chicago. Then you got Indiana.
They haven't had a chance to re-sign Stevenson yet. And that's the thing. That's the big question mark about Indiana. But my question mark is: does Stevenson even make Indiana better?
Who knows? Probably a little bit better. But
I mean, talent-wise, I mean, he's the most talented player at the position that they have available. I mean, and Granger's gone and whatnot. But the thing is man, he's a big problem.
Yeah, he's disturbs.
I mean, Indiana 2 years ago had more chemistry and camaraderie, and they succeeded a lot better, and they gave the Heat a run for their money a hell of a lot more than they did last year. Yep. And I think it had to do, and that variable, the only variable that was different, it wasn't Hibbert, wasn't Paul George, it wasn't Granger, it wasn't nobody. It was Lance Stevenson.
And then you got the Heat. The Heat, I think they definitely can make noise in the playoffs. They got the Bosch and Wade, and
the re-signing, not re-signing, but the signing of Luol Deng.
Yeah.
I mean, he's one of the prolific small forwards team, in the league as well.
Experienced team, they can definitely make some noise.
Mick Roberts is a role player. I mean, that's a decent addition, and it's just the Heat don't count them out quite yet. I mean, they could still go to the East or shake the East up pretty well. Now, no one wins it coming out of the East. I don't care who comes out of the East. But we're talking about beast of the East. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, it's just interesting.
And then the Wizards go and lose Trevor Ariza. I mean, to Houston. Makes Houston a little bit stronger. Chandler Parsons moves destinations. He's over in Dallas. I mean, the West is the best. And we're just trying to find the beast of the East. That's all we're trying. Third topic. Let's talk about this.
We're going to the All-Star Game is tonight. The baseball All-Star Game. It is Derek Jeter's final All-Star Game. Should he represent the AL as a starter in this All-Star Game?
As a starter, most likely not. Is he the best available shortstop? Did he have the best year leading up to this? No, not at all. I mean, he's still batting .272. He had 25 RBIs. Jeter is still doing his thing, especially at the twilight of his career. He's still able to succeed. But the thing is, the way that the format is with this, and that's going to bring us to our next topic in the MLB, the way the format is you need someone in there who's the best. Because if you're an AL representative and you're one of those top tier teams that's going to actually make a run at the World Series, you got to be a little upset that, I mean, no one's going to say anything, ESPN, no player, no one will say anything about Jeter, but you got to be a little upset that your chances of home field advantage in the World Series is based on a popularity contest of Derek Jeter.
That's true, yeah. And then, I mean, not even counting Jeter, there's other players on this team that, you're like, why are they even there?
Pujols is another guy. He hasn't had a good year, and so.
But anyway, that speaking of
the format of the All-Star game. I mean, let me ask you that. What do you think about the format of the All-Star game?
Well, the winner goes on and represents their league, gets the home field advantage. And
it's a big deal.
It's a big deal.
That's a huge deal.
So it
like
means
I said,
something.
those players that are at the end of the lineup, the players that aren't the contenders on the crappier teams, those guys, man, they're just there to have fun. It's an experience for them, a weekend for them. And the other guys, it's still business. And to have those guys coincide together and they don't have the same common goal in mind, it makes a mockery of the whole All-Star game in general.
Right. So we think that's kind of a mockery. In the NFL, I mean, there's not even, the Pro Bowl's not even worth
the Pro Bowl's a
about.
joke. Yeah.
It's a joke. Nobody plays in it.
I mean, what is the best format? That brings us to our next topic. I mean, what is the best format? What is the best format for the All-Star game? Because like you said, the Pro Bowl, man, you got the players that are supposed to be in the Super Bowl, they're not on the Pro Bowl team. I mean, you had a Pro Bowl team last year without Marshawn Lynch and the Seattle defense. What Pro Bowl team are you talking about?
Definitely not the best players.
No,
but,
and they're not there to play. They're not there to compete. They're there for the experience. That's it. They're not going to hit each other hard. They're going to freaking arm tackle each other if they can. It's a joke. It's a joke. And
it's a televised vacation.
The NBA by far has the best All-Star experience.
It's entertainment.
I mean, you've got the skills competition that they included a couple years ago. I thought that was pretty interesting. Three-point competition, it's nice to see that. The dunk competition, that could go. Who really cares? I mean, they don't have these prolific guys like they had Jordan and Wilkins and Dr. J. You got these average guys that are trying to make a name of themselves in the dunk competition, like Jason Richardson, Brent Barry, these type of guys. They're really nobody. You know what I'm saying? And you don't see the superstars. Who really cares? And I've seen all these dunks 1,000 times.
Yeah. And there's definitely flaws in every All-Star game, but I do think the most entertaining one's the NBA one.
Well, what flaw do you think as far as goes to the dunk competition? Because I know you know a little inside something.
Oh, yeah, the Toronto Raptors. Fun fact. Toronto Raptors have it where in every contract for their superstars, their team has a clause where you have to have one representative in the All-Star dunk contest.
I mean, that explains McGrady and that explains Vince Carter, but thank God Vince Carter entered that.
Absolutely. But, I mean, there's just little weird things about everything, but that's kind of fun.
Yeah, that is definitely weird. That's something I didn't know. That's something you brought, that's knowledge you brought me. So, now let's go to our next topic. This is one, I mean, who do you think, whose side are you with? Who are you siding with when it comes to the Houston Texans or Andre Johnson?
Andre Johnson, well, you got to side with the player here. I mean, definitely if he wants money, which I'm not sure that's what he wants. I think he actually wants to contend.
I don't think it's a matter of money. He wants to be a contender, and I think last year, when they passed up all the quarterbacks, the Bortles and the Menzels and all that in the draft, not saying that they would have been any better than Fitzpatrick, but I think he's just looking at where their mind is, where they stand, and it's not an offensive-minded team. And you got Andre Johnson, one of the best receivers that in the last decade. Him and Calvin Johnson, probably the two best receivers in the last decade in Fitzgerald. And he hasn't had a real legit chance to make a Super Bowl type of run. And I mean, he's getting to the end of the dwindle of his end of his career. And the guy wants to win, man. The guy wants to win. He's been patient enough. He's kept his mouth shut all these years. We all know that he's not a troublemaker, and he's asking for what's right.
Yeah, he came in as like a new breed of wide receiver. He has never made waves, and this is probably the biggest media exposure he's ever had.
Just by saying one thing, by saying he doesn't like the way Houston's doing.
But I think he should have every chance to go to a contender. Really gets with somebody that needs him.
When you get down to it, how do you pass up Clowney? I mean, I see where Andre Johnson's coming from. I mean, you need more offense. You need a quarterback. You need a career, a franchise type of quarterback. But how do you pass up Javanian? You can't. You just can't.
You got to pick him, and I don't think this quarterback class is actually one that's going to put them over the top.
And they really reached with that Bortles over there in Jacksonville. Yeah. So, I mean, it's going to be a few years before he works out.
All right. And so then we're going to go
to our local sports guys, and this is our favorite, Central Florida area. Is it Magic?
Magic?
Are they Magic or tragic?
Yeah. So I'll put my little 2 point.
2 cents in. You're caught on decision 2.0. Get off.
Yeah.
It's over, man. At least that decision has been made.
The Magic, I think they're headed in the right direction. I think they got a lot of changes and a lot of moves to make yet. And this year ain't their year for sure. And I think they're a couple years away. They're slow playing, and they got a GM in place that I love.
I like the GM. I like him. He's making good moves. He's getting rid of the old. He's kind of turned the page. He waived Jameer Nelson. It's all new talent. Everyone. There's not a single person on that team who got rid of Davis last year. I mean, they're all new, fresh talent, and they're young and they're hungry. But they're still far away. I mean, they add guys. They're not trying to win this year. Not with the acquisitions they make. With Ben Gordon, he's a backup. Channing Frye. I mean, come on. These guys aren't guys that you build your team around. I mean, they're guys that are savvy veterans that can teach these young guys how to play ball in the on and the off court type of deals. But that's what they're there for. They're there to be a veteran, for leadership. They're not there because they're going to perform. Ben Gordon hasn't done shit in the last 5 years. And Channing Frye, I mean, he hasn't done anything for quite some time too. And I'm not even sure if I'd put him on as a starter. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, the Magic, it's closer to tragic this year. But like I said, I like the moves he's making. It's a bright future. A few years down the road, if they can keep the talent, re-sign these guys, and that's always the biggest problem too. I mean, you look at the Clippers. I mean, look at all the draft picks they had in the 90s and 2000s. If they could have kept half of those guys together, the Bulls, same thing. If they could have kept half of them guys together, they'd have squads. They'd be looking like the Cleveland Cavaliers right now.
You just got to be smart in the draft, get a little bit of luck. They'll be great, but not this year. Tragic.
Oh, and Aaron Gordon. I don't know so much, man. He's a 2-3 year player too. Before you even get any hopes at all or get happy at all, because he's not looking so great in the summer league. All right, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Try to make us quick and as punctual as possible. Try to give you the updates, and hopefully you like our opinions, and hopefully you agree with us, and hopefully you'll stay tuned and follow us.
Subscribe.
Yes.
All right, thanks.
Cool. Maybe I should go do this drug test thing.
Yeah.
Except I need your pee then.
Yeah.